I fondly remember the days of gaming magazines and demo discs. Back in 1998, I recall playing the Tomba demo and having a fantastic time. The unique gameplay, wild characters, and playful music made for a memorable experience in a fascinating world. That demo left an impression on me and led me to rent Tomba when it came out. And that's where my memory gets a little foggy. Lucky for me, 26 years later, Tomba Special Edition has just released and I can finally see it through to the end. Tomba's adventure begins when his golden bracelet is stolen by a group of pig bandits. For unknown reason, these dastardly pigs are stealing gold from everyone and casting world-changing spells across the countryside. It's up to Tomba to uncover the evil pig's plot, recover his grandfather's bracelet, and help everyone he meets along the way. Combining action and adventure is where Tomba excels. The core gameplay is side-scrolling action in a 3D environment, interspersed with visiting towns to meet villagers, gather information, and add events to the quest log. The event system in Tomba has aged incredibly well. Anytime Tomba runs into a task he needs to accomplish, the name of the event proudly displays itself on screen. After that, all events can be found in the game's menu. This keeps the screen clear of tracked quests, which plague many modern games. On top of that, characters around the world are very helpful when spoken to and always offer helpful insight into how events can be completed. On the action side of things, Tomba has many tools at his disposal. Jumping onto the backs of enemies allows you to throw them as weapons. You can also latch on to parts of the environment to swing around, climb, and shift weight to solve puzzles. His blackjack flail can dispose foes or even break parts of the environment. Being a side-scroller in a 3D world, Tomba is able to transition between the foreground and background layers of levels to access different paths and new areas. The amount of things to find in each area in terms of treasures and events is very satisfying. Not everything is required to complete your adventure, but searching around is always rewarded. All of these gameplay elements come together to form a cohesive experience. Events have direction and are supported by the townsfolk's advice. Adventuring is challenging and interesting. The game world is designed in a way that is believable and intelligent. Oftentimes, you'll find yourself looping back into an area you've previously visited after unlocking a door or breaking a barricade, offering a new shortcut, which is a staple in modern games like Dark Souls. Tomba was definitely ahead of its time in a few respects. However, not everything is sunshine and rainbows. The load times in Tomba seem to be the same as I remember them from the original PlayStation game. Transitioning between zones often has a 3 to 6 second load time, which isn't necessary on today's hardware. In addition, the jumping controls can be difficult to manage in areas that require precision, leading to frustrating player deaths. Deaths cost the player lives, and while I never ran out of that stock to see a game over screen, limiting player deaths in a large adventure game is certainly a design choice from the past, especially in games that allow you to save. And finally, the boss fights aren't all that inspired. Compared to the rest of the game, boss fights feel too simple, too samey, and not very inventive. After completing Tomba Special Edition, I understood why there is still a cult following for this game. The world is filled with a large variety of original environments, wacky enemies, and lovable characters. Puzzling through the game's 130 events wasn't a chore, but a challenge I took on with genuine interest. And yet, the boss fights didn't deliver on the same level. They fit the narrative, and were a brief test of your pig-tossing prowess, but could have been improved on. Tomba Special Edition earns an 8 out of 10.